I think there's always forces that want to stop you from doing what you're doing, especially when it's what we're doing. If your heart and your intuition is telling you should do that, then yes, you should do it. You should throw yourself to the wind, and when you do, you'll find that you can ride it. And if Spirit's guiding you, you'll land in the right spot. And I'm a perfect example of that. And I've often said to people that you've got to stop thinking of the world as governments. It's not nations and governments. We have a multinational, multi-generational criminal cabal masquerading as such. And it shows it. What they've done shows just how much they are all in lockstep with each other. So, they'll try a certain plan with Australia and see if they can get the job done that way, and we'll use it as an example to show the rest of the world. But what it's really all about is just this whole social credit and AI and all the stuff that's coming in on top of it, which is what's going on underneath all this. All the QR codes are rolling out, all the surveillance is rolling out, all the new street lamps, all this smart system is being put in place in the background while all of these distractions are going on. And people don't realise that, simple non-compliance would stop the whole thing. And we're really, really getting to a tipping point where, people have got to start to embrace this and realise that there is no legal way, there is no military way. I mean, revolution won't really solve anything. You'll just end up in a huge bloodbath, and then someone else will rise up, whoever's got the most weapons and the most power, and they will impose their regime the way it's always happened. Non-compliance and people remembering who and what they are and stepping into their power as sovereign human beings and respecting each other. Because if we all respect each other and respect each other's differences, that's all we have to do, and just say no, and we'll change the world in a day. But it's way too simple for people to see. They think there has to be a big battle or a big army or this big vote or whatever, there doesn't. All that needs to happen is for people to step into their moral compass, and the whole world would change. It would have to. I almost think humanity's going to separate. It's going to split in two. There's going to be a lot of people who won't put down the technology, who just won't see this for what it is. And that's okay. I think they've done this before. I think they've run these resets before. I don't even think any of the technology we're using is actually new technology. I think it's all old technology. I think they run these resets all the time. And I think, with everything that's happening, like I said, the human race is going to split into two. There are going to be some that go that way, but there's going to be the spark of the human divinity that doesn't. But what it's going to take to get through that is going to be sort of a shocking reality for a lot of people, because it's what it's going to take to get through this reset and get through what's coming. You're going to have to completely disconnect from this system. You won't be able to participate in this society at all. With the government IDs and everything they're bringing in, soon you will need government IDs in order to even log online. You're going to see a splitting of people, and the people who split are going to have to go completely back to nature, become like the Amish. If they're going to have any type of society at all, it would have to be like an Amish society where there's no technology involved at all, because that's the only way you're going to get through. But even if that happens, the system that's been created is so non-human and so controlling and so psychologically, emotionally and biologically perverse that humans and life will not be able to survive in that system. And that system itself needs humans and life in there in order to power it. So it is destined to collapse. The more dystopian they make it, even if they complete it and get it in place, it's destined to fail, it's destined to collapse, because it needs humankind to be in there to power it. It'll never work. So what we've got to do is find a way of riding the wave and coming out the other side of that collapse, so that there is this divinity of the human genome that is left. The people that make it through, those strong people, those pure people who remain pure-blooded and pure souled that come through, will provide a spark of divinity of the human genome that will carry forward, and that will be the new species that populates the earth. So in many ways, it's a good thing, as cold and callous as that may be. But you've got to get to a point where you've got to face reality, and you've got to see that what's happened now, there's no stopping this. Even if we pull our governments down, it has to run out its natural course now. So, we've just got to maintain our focus. Always remember that you've got to walk the path of the warrior. You've got to face infinity without flinching. The knack of being able to face with serenity odds and circumstances that are not included in your calculations, and be able to ride that wave, come out the other side by simply doing what needs to be done. And I have a saying that if you throw yourself to the wind, you can ride it. Okay, that's what people need to do. And if they can ride that wind they will come out the other side, but they're going to see a lot of horrible and terrible things happening around them. But there's that light at the end of the tunnel if you can maintain your sole focus. This is your sole choice. And if you couldn't pass this test, you never would have chosen to come here and to be here on this earth at this particular time. You came here because you know that you can do this. So now you just got to do it. Believe in yourself, stay in your heart, and keep that guidance pure, and you will come through the other side. But you've got to be prepared to know that you're going to see this shadow. You're going to see this incredible darkness. You're going to see horrors that you never imagined unfolding over the next 3 to 12 months, maybe even longer, maybe for the next 5 years. But you've got to realize that this is a temporary birthing pain.